All right, good morning, children. Today is the 31st of January, 2020, and I'm going to be showing you how to do your perfect squares and perfect roots. And this very important that you memorize this information because this is going to help you with the next unit, okay? So make sure you memorize this. This is an assignment, so this is due today. Due today. It's Friday, and I know who is here. But if you don't finish because you was playing around, then it's due next class. And y'all know me, okay? If you don't do it, then it's a 0. So make sure you do it for homework. All right? Get it done. All right, so let me just show you how to do this. It's really easy. So all you're going to do is for each number, you're going to write the squared value. So you're going to get your calculator. You're going to turn it on. Let me get up out of this. And we're going to do 1. And then squared, the button is right here. So we're going to do 1 squared. Press enter. It's equal to 1. So I'm just going to put 1. Then I'm going to do 2 squared. So 2 squared is equal to 4. And then let's do one more just in case, some people might be confused. 3 squared, enter, is 9. So you're going to do all your squares all the way down to 15. And of course, you're going to memorize them. And then once you're done with your squares, you're going to do your roots. And you're going to do this the same way. So we have our number, and I want to find the square root. So I'm going to get my calculator. And to do the square root, you have to press second and then the x squared button. So it's the same button, but you have to press second first. I'm going to put in 225. 225. Enter. And I'm going to put the number here. 15. And then I'm going to do the next one. So second squared 196. That is 14. And eventually you will get the pattern going down. So this is the first part of the assignment, doing these front 2 pages. So I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to pause the video and let you finish. And then once you're done, we're going to do the back. Now the back won't make sense unless you do the front. So make sure y'all get the front done. It's easy. It should take you 2 minutes max. Get it done. I'm going to pause the video now. All right, so before I get to the back, I'm going to give y'all some notes because I'm going to be using some vocabulary, and I need you to know what it means. So let's say I have a square root and I have some number. Let's call that number A on the inside. So whenever you hear me say radical, I'm talking about the whole thing, the square root included. This whole thing is called a radical. Yes, this is the square root, but we have different kinds of roots. So we call this whole thing a radical, right? So this whole thing, oh, come on now, lights. Come on, adjust yourself. There we go. So this whole thing is a radical. Now, when I say radicand, I'm talking about just the inside of the square root, okay? So this is the radicand. So whenever I say radicand, you know what I'm talking about. So let's go to the back. And first, I want to take this up. We're going to have a commercial break and say, if you need extra credit, I need these things. I need some pencils. And if you bring me some pencils, 5 points a pack. Printer paper is 15 points a pack. Dry erase markers is 10 points a pack, and note cards is 5 points a pack. Bring me some extra credit stuff, and I'll give you extra credit. All right, let's move on. So first let's do number 4. We're going to do number 4 first. So whenever we're simplifying radicals, we need to factor out a perfect square. So, of course, if you did not do the front, go ahead and do the front now. so that you know your perfect squares. Because if you don't know your perfect squares, if you don't have this, it's going to be hard. So don't do it if you didn't do it yet. I know my perfect squares by heart. All right, so first we got to factor out a perfect square. So I'm going to take my radicand and find all of the factors of this number. So if you don't know how to find your factors, all you have to do is take your calculator, go to y equals, and the number you want to factor, you're going to put it divided by x. Let me zoom in for y'all so y'all can see. And then you're going to press second first. I pressed the wrong button, y'all. It's going to make a weird graph. All right, second graph to look at your tables. So our x and y values are our factors. So I have 1 times 300, and then 2 times 150. Ooh, this is long. 3 times 100. Maybe I should have did a smaller number. 4 times 75. 5 times 60. And 6 times 50. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should have did a smaller number. And let's see. We don't use decimals. Don't use decimals. And then I got 10 times 30. I think that's it. No, I think there's a 15 in here somewhere. Yeah. 12 times 25. Man, we're going all the way down. And then 15 times 20. And I think that is the last one. When they start repeating again, then we know we're done. Yeah. So here are all my factors. These are all factors. But we only want perfect squares. So we only want perfect squares. So I'm going to circle my perfect squares. And if you don't know your perfect squares, make sure you did the front. So I know my perfect squares are 100 and 25. So you can pick either one. So I'm going to pick this one. Let's pick this one. So I'm going to take out these factors. So I'm going to take out the square root of 100 and the square root of 3. Now, when I take out a perfect square, I know it will simplify. So I know this will simplify to 10. So I have 10 times. And then if this is not a perfect square, we're just going to bring it down. Square root of 3. So then my answer would be 10 times the square root of 3. Now, what if we would have took out 12 and 25? And I'm just going to do one more example, and then I'm going to be done. So what if we would have took out the other one? So if I have the square root of 300, and I took out the square root of 25 and the square root of 12, right? Then I know this will simplify. This will simplify to 5. And then I have to factor out 12. So then I have to list all of my factors of 12. I have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. And I know that 4 is a perfect square. Perfect square. So I got to factor this out again. So I have the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. And then this will simplify to 2. So then everything comes down. So I have 5 times 2 times the square root of 3. I'm going to multiply these. And then bring this one down. So this would give me 10. And this would give me times the square root of 3. So you get the same thing. So you can do it either way. Either way. Okay? So that is how you simplify radicals. You have to factor out a perfect square. And then once you factor out and multiply it and bring it down. So I hope this video was helpful. The front and the back, well, this is the front and the back, is due today. Turn it into the tray or next class for homework. So get it done. I got the date so I know when stuff is late.